Hello and welcome back to Pirates and Princesses. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and today again I am without Neon because we are working in two different places and he has no access to doing videos. So you're just getting me today. I did a video a little bit ago talking about good news with Disney. Inside Out 2 has gone over $1 billion at the box office. The idea that if you actually give people what they want, they will give you their money is apparently a concept that is, true and works. Meanwhile, over at the Magic Kingdom, though, we have Tiana's Bayou adventure crapping the bed once again. It's getting ridiculous at this point, and we're going to talk about it. So before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo. Woohoo! And here we go. So, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. If you've been following our videos, or you follow Disney parks, you understand and know what's been going on. It's kind of been a cluster. They started out like 3 weeks ago or so doing pass holder previews, DVC previews, cast member previews, had the media, had some of the people in the movie riding the attraction early. When they were doing this, things kept breaking. Animatronics kept breaking. The ride kept breaking. They've had videos of evacuations several times. I just don't understand why the ride was down for months. Splash Mountain had known issues. It was always a joke about it being like broken all the time. At least 3 times I was on Splash Mountain when, I didn't get evacuated, but we had to wait for a while because something happened. Always known for having problems. So when you have downtime and you're going to turn it to a different ride, you're going to reskin it. The first thing I would have expected them to do was fix the damn ride. Like if there's a ride system issue that keeps occurring, then you fix the ride system. If you have to replace like a lot of the ride system, then you replace the ride system so it works. They didn't, for whatever reason, or if they did, they didn't do a very good job. They did it, they didn't fix the thing entirely. And when you know it's breaking down during previews, one would expect them to be like, you know what? Let's take it back down, try to fix the problems before we open it to the public. But they didn't do that either. And I'm thinking it's because they knew they'd get a lot of complaints from people who booked trips based on the date they gave for the opening. I think they should have just taken it back down until they fixed it. It seems like their budget mostly went to animatronics that don't seem to work very well. And a lot of flowers from places like, Hobby Lobby or Michael's or, places like that, because it's a lot of foliage and flora and fauna and empty space screens and some animatronics, and the animatronics that are the more complex ones are not working. So on the 28th of June, they opened the ride to the public. That's when everyone could ride. And I think the first day wasn't too terrible, except for the fact that all the virtual queues and the lightning lanes were gone like in seconds, which was expected. But come day 2, when they had day 2, they had issues. I know I posted about it yesterday. They had a delayed opening. And I know it wasn't open for a few hours, at least. I don't even know if it opened yesterday. I'm assuming it did. I didn't go back and check, but I know at least until like noon, it was down. So it was, and they do twice a day for those who don't understand. It's virtual queue. So what happens is at 7 a.m. and at 1 p.m., you can try to join the virtual queue. It opens up when it's a new attraction, it's usually just like less than a minute, sometimes less than 30 seconds. They have it open, and then whoever gets in, okay? If it breaks down during the time that you have virtual queue, then you can still come back later as long as it opens by the end of the day. If it doesn't, then you're SOL. They also are offering the lightning lane access for those people who wanted to pay more. And in that instance, if you don't get to go, then they'll just refund your money. But again, you're SOL. So that happened yesterday. So we already had, the first day was okay, I believe. The second day, it didn't even open right away. And then today they had evacuations. So we started out with guests being evacuated for Tiana's Bayou Adventure on 3rd day of operation at the Magic Kingdom. So this happened earlier today. That was it. That was before 11 a.m. And then a little bit later, like, oh my gosh, not even like half an hour, not even half an hour, 20 minutes later, they started draining it. So they said, following the evacuation, Tiana's Bayou Adventure was drained. This is blogmickey.com. If you don't follow them, you should, because they're very good. If you have virtual queue lightning lane, check the My Disney Experience app for updates. So people that were waiting to ride it then didn't get to ride it. You got pushed back again. So I don't know if it's reopened or not at this point in time, but they drained it completely for whatever reason. So we're on 3 days in, and 2/3 of the days we've already seen problems. because they didn't fix the damn ride system. I mean, I don't understand. How hard is it to fix the ride system? I'm really, truly hoping that they're taking notes at Disneyland, because they're doing it to Disneyland's too, but they're not supposed to open till later this year. And they're like, holy shit, we need to fix the ride system. Now, their ride system's a bit different. Their ride system, the rides weren't exactly identical. Their ride cars are like the single boat. It's kind of like what we have on our Space Mountain over here at Walt Disney World. They're like the single, in the single line, one person, back to back to back. Our Splash Mountain at Walt Disney World has the wider boats with multiple people in a seat, like I think 3 across or whatever it is, 2 or 3 across. At Disneyland, it's the single, like, log flume type boat. So they're a little different in that regard. But, and the ride was always a little different here and there. But the Disney World version was actually the better version of Splash Mountain, because it was the newer version of Splash Mountain. So the newer version of Splash Mountain, you think, would have fewer problems than the older version. So Disneyland really needs to look at that and make sure they don't end up with the same problems they're having at Walt Disney World. It is not going well. People have been making fun of it all over the place. It does not look good for Disney. They insisted on changing Splash Mountain. They did, and it looks like it doesn't look good. It doesn't have the exciting drop. I mean, it has a drop, but there's like no excitement leading up to it. It's pretty boring as far as I've seen, and people are saying it's not as good. Some people think it's better. It just depends on who you ask. The animatronics are fewer, but they're better animatronics. But it's boring. So here's what people were saying about it being drained over here at Blog Mickey. They're like, it's not even in the wait time list, but it's not going to be because it's virtual queue. Shut it down. Feels like bigger issues still happening, just animatronic sensors of having to do this for an existing ride. Surprise, my tech issues with the ride system. Yes, it's like they didn't even try to fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it yet. They did. Now they're paying for it. Bring back Splash immediately, which is not going to happen. They didn't fix it. That's the problem. How many times has it been drained over the past month? I've lost track. Many, many times. Have there been any hiccups with this new ride yet? Seems smooth sailing. Way to ruin an iconic attraction, Disney. Meanwhile, Universal is laughing all the way to bank, knowing they are about to pass them in attendance for Epic Universe alone. Probably true. Disney being Disney, I feel for the cast members that have to work with that attraction. So do I feel bad for customer service because they're going to be inundated with complaints. Yesterday it did open. I was group 61. That's a low number. It usually goes like groups like 1 through, like, I don't know about this one, but other attractions like 1 through, 40 or 50 now boarding. So that should have been one of the early boarding groups. They were group 61. They didn't get called till 8 p.m. So I guarantee you that most people did not get called until very late. And those at 1 o'clock, if it went even up at all, probably didn't get to go at all. They said they're ride testing the rides at Epic Universe. Disney, and they have built a whole other park. Disney's in trouble. It's the new Rise of the Resistance in terms of breakdowns. Yeah, but the Rise of the Resistance, though, it was a new ride system. So it wasn't right. Like, they didn't give Imagineers enough time. We talked about this earlier on, that they didn't have enough time to perfect it. The Imagineers were basically saying, hey, this isn't going to work. It's going to keep breaking down. There's all kinds of issues, and they pushed ahead anyway. But that was a brand new system. This is a system they know has trouble for a while, and somehow they made it worse. It goes on about refunds, third day not good, etc., etc. If you go back here, I also saw that if you ride the Walt Disney World Railroad, okay, when you're riding the Walt Disney World Railroad, there's a section that goes past Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and you can actually see into the attraction on your way to the Frontierland station. And they said Tiana's Bayou Adventure is down, and if you go on the railroad, you can catch the Tiana animatronic in T mode. No figures moving, just the screens. It's spooky stuff. They're just static. They're just sitting there like nothing. Like, yeah, not good. So it doesn't look good, and it's all avoidable. But we're only on 3 days in, and again, 2/3 of those days have had massive issues. Yesterday, people didn't get on it till very, very late. I don't know if this is open back up. Let me go out to Blog Mickey and check. They might have had an update, not that I see. But it's down. Guests are evacuated. They drained it. It takes a while to fill it back up, so they're going to have to fix it, refill it, and then get people called back in and get back on. So I think it'll take at least a little while. That was 3 hours ago. So even if they fix it, it takes a while to get it back up. So people might be again being like, if you had an early group number, you might get to ride it today. I doubt anybody at 1 o'clock on, if they even opened it then, would be able to ride it today. But we'll see what happens. Let us know what you think. Comment, subscribe, like, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.